Hey everybody, welcome to Between the Lines with Chris Curran. I'm your host, and tonight we're speaking with Felix Varela, Miami-Dade and Freed-Hardeman alum, husband and father of three, coach with SQZ, entrepreneur, mentor, and network marketer, my college teammate and close friend, Carlos Pertuz. What's going on, man?
My boy
Yeah.
CC, yo, first of all, thank you for that introduction. And I have the honor to be here with, to me, one of the best center fielders that I have been able to play the game with,
Yes.
honestly. So thank you for the invitation. Honestly, it's an honor to be here with you. By the way, congratulations on your show. I love it. Honestly, you're doing an amazing job, bro.
Dude, thank you, man. Thank you, because it means a lot because you were such a grinder as a pitcher, man. You were a bulldog on the mound, and I've always taken pride in. Listen, I just want to try to be the best center fielder that pitchers have ever played with. That's always been my goal. Is like to have that full trust that I got your back.
Exactly.
I
Yeah, and
got
let
your
me tell
back,
you,
man.
it's an amazing feeling to be on the mound and knowing that your team got you. Because you're not gonna strike out everybody. Honestly. And bro, and I still remember you making some sick catches when I was out there
Yeah.
pitching. And by the way, it's crazy because one of my mentors always said it's just be aware of the people that you meet. Because you're gonna bring those stories with you. And now that I'm in coaching. It's crazy that and not even just the youth, right? High school kids. The parents said, "Oh, my kid, it's not tall enough. My kid is not big enough." I've been
Hmm.
telling them, "Let me tell you a story about a center fielder that I had in college that went to play professional baseball as a stud, and anything happens in the sport as long as you're willing to put the effort and heart into it. You know it."
Absolutely, man. You just gotta be willing to hustle and be the best that you can be. That's kind of how it goes, man. You just got to be out there and be willing to grind and know that you got your teammates back. And if you love the game, it's just that much better,
Yes, I agree with that, bro.
you know. So I'm very well aware because I'm a fan. We got to play college baseball together. But can you tell people a little bit about your baseball background?
Oh, absolutely. So, I'm Carlos Pertuz. I live all the way in Orlando, Florida. I was born in Colombia, right? I came to this country in 1998. I was just 10, 11 years old. I used to play soccer, by the way. You know, I decided to pick up baseball at the age of 11, 12 years old, right? So if the parents are listening to this, right, your kids will try different sports and it's okay. You never know when you're going to succeed, right? On what sport and I see that, and I preach that a lot in youth baseball now, right? So I started, a left-handed pitcher, but before that, I used to play center field. I was not as fast as you, obviously, and I played some first base, right? I started playing a lot of rec ball, which is a lot of fun with a lot of friends,
Hmm.
and then I got into pitching, and I fell in love with the art of pitching, of becoming so perfect and wanting to master that I gave up center field, first base, and even hitting to just pursue pitching, right? I saw the advantage that I had at the time. I wasn't really throwing hard, but I knew lefties always had an advantage, when it came to the way that the ball moves. So, bro, from there, honestly, my parents found a pitching coach from Cuba and I started going to a pitching coach at the age of 13, 14 years old, right? And you want to know how serious I took that every Sunday I had pitching lessons that I needed to wake up my dad to take me to those lessons, right? And it's
Wow.
because at that age I already knew, right? Uh, what could happen if I continue, working on my craft, which was pitching at the time. But unfortunately, right, and parents, if you got kids, and that don't like school, I just stay on top of them because unfortunately, due to me having bad grades, I didn't make my high school team my freshman year, and I look back and, you kind of like just learn from those mistakes that school is just it's not more important than sport, right? But I had my mind different. I was so sport, 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 right?
Hmm.
But now I get to teach the kids that, right? So sophomore year, I made the varsity team as a sophomore in high school. But I also played JV. I told the coach that my parents, my coach, my pitching coach, for me to play JV. There's nothing wrong with playing JV, by the way. I was able
Mm-hmm.
to get reps. I was able to get innings under my belt, right? I was able to earn the trust of my coaches as well, where I was able to play up, and then from there, my junior and senior year, it was amazing. I got recruited by a lot of different colleges. University of Miami came to see me, FIU came to see me. But guess what happens when they found out about my grades? They never came back to see me. So
Wow.
a lot of life lessons at an early age. And then I was able to finally play for my first travel ball team. I know travel ball is huge nowadays, but my first
Mm-hmm.
travel ball team, I was at 17, 18 years old, practicing what it was used to call the X team at a Broward Community College. How crazy it is that I went to Miami-Dade after that to be able to
Yeah.
face Broward Community College with you.
Yeah.
And then after the 2 years, I actually, played for 3 years a day. And I know you're gonna ask me some questions about the red shirt and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. I was able to also experience the Valley League in Woodstock, Virginia. To me, that was one of the best experience that I'm gonna take to my life with me. Not only baseball, but the people that I met, the teammates that I met from all over the country. That today, through social media, we still have some type of connection, and we still keep in touch with each other. So I'm so grateful for the sport because it opened so many doors to meet so many amazing people like yourself and people that we have played with, bro. So and then I went up to play in Tennessee, for 2 more years. And it was an amazing experience. I don't know, the snow's not for me. I'm a
Yeah.
I'm a Florida boy, bro. It just got low to
Yeah.
35 degrees 2 days ago, and I was freezing.
Dude.
But yeah, man, it was an incredible journey from but the moment that I saw where, how far we could go in the sport, little by little throughout the years, I started taking it more serious. And now I get to, give back to the kids, the youth, and the community, everything that
Mm.
I've been able to learn that many years.
That's awesome, man. It's so important to give back because in that sense too, I growing up had issues with grades as well. I think
Oh, I thought I was the only one.
no, I think so in high school I always found out ways to get C's. And eventually it's just like you start having division 1 schools out of high school looking at you and certain things work out, certain things don't. I was actually going to go to Barry University.
That's
Um
right.
so
Yes, I remember that.
I love Mark Pavo. He's a tough, hard nose. He's from Massachusetts, so like I know his personality. He vouched for me. And I had signed with them in November of my senior year of high school, and then I couldn't get in because of my grades.
Wow.
So I found out I don't know if it was like May or June of I'm getting ready to go into college. I have 2 months before I'm going to college and I can't get in. And he makes a couple phone calls. He's like, "Listen, I can keep you in Miami. I know that's your dream. We have a school that we work hand in hand with that can really help you with the grades, which is Miami-Dade. You can do your freshman year there, and then you get your grades up, you can transfer." So I was like, all right, deal. So I went to Miami-Dade and I'm like, I don't know anyone in the state of Florida. I'm not even supposed to be here. Let's see how it works out. And I fell in love with Miami-Dade so much that I didn't transfer after my freshman year. And he's like, what happened, man? I was like, I just got to see things through. I got to get my grades a little better. But yeah, man. And no, that it's good you talked about that travel ball too, because back in the day, there weren't so many travel ball teams.
No, at all.
There
And it
weren't.
was mainly back then was through invitations. So as a high
Mm.
schooler, it forces you to give that extra rep, that extra mile, because if you're part of this team, you feel like, man, like part of an elite team, if you want to call it that, because not many people, I remember that X team was able to put together between about 9 different high schools in just Dade County and Broward,
Wow.
right? And I remember my shortstop, my second base, Alberto Gonzalez, his son is very famous on Instagram. I don't know if you see him. His son is AJ Gonzalez. He's a little kid that's a lefty that has,
Mm.
he's only 6'7", so was my second baseman. And through social media and his son, we were able to connect again, a couple years ago, and it was just so beautiful. But yeah, I mean, it's that's why I like to preach about, let baseball play it out. Baseball's a process, it's a journey, where we could play, but also take breaks from it, be able to recharge,
Mhm.
reset. Because like when we're done with travel ball, like Leon and we disconnect from baseball. I cannot disconnect from baseball because of the private lessons that I get to do, right,
Mhm.
with kids. But when it comes to me and my son, which I'm one of his coaches, we completely disconnect from baseball for a good 4 to 5, 6 weeks, bro. And we just
Yeah.
focus on going to Disneyland, Disney Park, Disney World, and just, I'm really want to try to get them into some soccer, basketball, right? But also doing different activities just than just the sport, because burnout is a real thing, and I also like to preach out about that thing. Like I got burned out that I didn't want nothing to do with baseball. And I know you're gonna get into that topic very soon.
Mhm.
That I didn't want nothing to do with 10 years, nothing with baseball, like at all. And I was just kind of think back and I was like, wow, I really, enjoyed it. But at the same time, I could say I got burned out as well, as a grown up.
Yeah. I think it's easier. I wanna say, and I could be wrong, but I think it's easier to get burned out when you play at the higher levels such as that you did at such competing against so many good people, and then you're considered the good people that others compete against, where you put and pour so much of yourself into the game that when you finally look up, the tank is empty.
Yeah.
You've emptied the tank, you gave it all you had, and sometimes you just yeah. Because when I walked away from the game and I retired, I couldn't watch baseball for 2 years.
Well, I was me.
Yeah, like, I couldn't watch it on the TV, like, canceled cable, don't have it in the house, because on top of it too, just as you know, you're watching people that you played against. You're watching teammates, and that also hits a little bit differently. Like, should I have been there? Should I have done this? You can get at yourself, man. It's
No,
very true.
absolutely. And now that you bring that point up, right? I know you made it pro. I never got to make it pro. And one of the biggest lessons that I believe that could have helped me, maybe because not to sound cocky or anything, but I do believe that I could have had the talent to go
Oh,
even
yeah.
to the minor leagues,
Yeah.
But one thing that I think you could agree with me, it was my attitude, right? And I like to preach today that if you're talented, but you have bad attitude, right? You're not coachable, it's not going to take you far than an average kid that works the extra mile, that is very coachable, right? Who will
Mhm.
probably going to exceed in the sport and the professionals. I talk about the professionals want to see professionals act, right? So one of the things that I've learned in my last 13 years because of my business network marketing was I got introduced to personal development, right?
Mm.
For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better, right? So I didn't understand that back then, right? But maybe I was immature. But now that I got to get this knowledge, I get to share that, with those athletes because there's some kids that I train that they think that they're on top of Mount Rush, and I was like, just please humble, I know you're good. I know that where I come from, where scouts, they didn't like much, with attitude. But again, life is a lesson, that life is a school. I like to call that actually,
Yes.
that every day we're learning something new.
100%. No, and to be clear, yeah, you definitely had the talent. I hated facing you in spring training. Because because you were on the mound and you were just, yeah, you were a bulldog. Like you had it in your face. I knew. So I see you and you're so positive, but when you were on the baseball field, you were like, you were going to rip people's heads off because you were so competitive. You were so good. You were always fired up. And I loved that about you when you were on my team. But when I had to face off against you, like you talked about lefties having the advantage, but you were also good. You also had the attitude and the presence on the mound that when you were on the mound, I was like, all right, there was never going to be an easy at bat or an easy pitch against you. I can say that about it. That's why I was excited to have you on here, because I was like, you're one of the people that I loved but hated to face.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, you could throw strikes because you were there, bro. And I was like, man, you gotta put it
Yeah.
low against CC.
I had to. I got to stay low,
And if you throw it outside, CC just throws his hands and
That's
it just goes the other way.
yeah.
And don't let it put it on the ground because he's safe.
Yeah, I had to find my ways, man. You
And
gotta play
you
your
made it
strengths.
happen. That's what, bro. That's why I share your story with so many people nowadays. It's crazy. And I was waiting to tell you when we were doing this. I wasn't going to tell you through Instagram or text.
Yeah.
Like your story still goes with me and it's going to continue going with me because you made an impact, not only me as a pitcher, as a teammate, but it's like, yo, like, look at this guy. Doesn't have the size,
Mm-hmm.
right? Doesn't have the power,
Mm-hmm.
maybe doesn't have the arm strength that a
Yeah.
regular center, but ain't
Y-
people running on him. He's not dropping the balls,
y-
and he's hitting over 300, right? So he's making
Mm-hmm.
it happen. So, bro, that's why your story I keep sharing it with everybody.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm glad to have that kind of impact and just going out there trying hard every day, trying to be a good teammate and just trying to do the right things.
Yes.
That's all you can ask for. So let me ask you this about baseball. How was your transition from like high school baseball into college? Because I know you had mentioned that maybe you didn't have the grades that you wanted or to get into the schools that were looking at you. But how was like your transitions from high school to college?
So, I don't think it was hard because before graduating high school, I was already training with several professional guys. I was training with a lot of college guys who kind of gave me the confidence, right? That if you continue working on your craft, obviously get your grades up. If you want to go out of Miami-Dade, obviously my dream was to get drafted out of Miami-Dade, but obviously that didn't work. So I knew that if I wanted it to have at least 2 more years of baseball, I needed to get a little bit more focused, get a little bit more serious about my grades, and I was able to do that. But here's the crazy part: by doing that, was able to also help me. I remember my freshman year in Miami-Dade, bro. There were studs in the pitching staff. I remember Robert Palencia. I mean, that guy shot
Mm-hmm.
everybody down. You know who he is.
Yep.
PJ Fisher, the lefty, Medina, and me coming in as a freshman and being part of that rotation, it meant a lot to me, But again, it was an opportunity. Miami-Dade just opened the doors. And like I said, if there's an opportunity there, you better go run for it because if not, somebody else is gonna go ahead and take it.
Yeah, there were some absolute dogs throughout the time at Miami-Dade.
Man, we even have Timmy Sexton. I mean, that's your roommate. That guy was a stud.
Yeah, man, just this, was he 6'6", 6'7" from Baltimore, Maryland? The
Yeah,
long, beautiful hair.
like you said, I know him as my teammate, but when I was in Woodstock and we had to face him, and he was in another Virginia team, I was like, guys, I think we're done for the day.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
man.
yeah, man, I think the transition, just because mentally I wanted more, it was not hard at all. Obviously, the discipline in the school to me was the toughest that I needed to, sit down and I asked questions. I remember Frankie Damas, it's an amazing human being.
Yes.
And I always ask, I need help with this, I need help with that, because I mean, if you don't seek the information, you will never get it.
Yeah. We got very lucky. As I look back at college baseball and who we had for coaches, whether it was Kevin, um
Coach
Cheech.
Long,
Yeah, Coach Long was a nut.
Cheech,
I love that guy.
Last.
Yeah, Laz, Frankie. Like, I think Frankie Damas was someone that I needed in college because he was tough, and I think at times he was tough on me. But I needed that because it reminded me of home in a place where I was new. I didn't have anyone. So when he would kind of get in my face about certain things of like, hey, you have to do this, I responded well to it. And I'm like, all right, let's go to work. It's not going to
That
be
tough
someone
love.
who's, yeah, I needed that because 18, didn't know anybody there. I didn't play against anyone there. You know, sometimes if you were playing travel baseball in Broward, you go to Dade, you're seeing those guys. I had no idea who anyone was. I just, and then you start going there and you find out like almost everyone's been drafted, everyone's being recruited by and all the good schools I wanted to go to, like you were being recruited by all the schools I wanted to go to.
Yeah,
So,
what an experience I bet it was for you coming from Massachusetts all the way down.
dude, it was such a shell shock because everyone was good. And then there were players like you and CJ and Leo, different caliber of good. You know what I mean? Like when I look at you, I'm like, no, everyone in Miami was good. But then there's like the people I would consider like the elite, like the
Yeah.
good players, the people who inducted
Eli
them.
Villanueva. Remember Eli?
Absolutely, man. That first year with Eli and Tim Sexton, like as our top two starters,
Yeah. That was fun. That was fun
you
to watch.
know.
That was fun to be part of that. So
Yeah, and then you have people that are coming like middle reliever, long reliever, closers. Our team was just stacked,
so
you
what was
know.
your first thought when you came to Miami? Like what was like when you came to Miami College, you walked around campus? I know you're asking me questions, but I want to ask you now that
Yo.
because when I went to Virginia, bro, and I left a big city to a small town, it was a total culture shocker. And I'm grateful that I went through that because I loved it every moment of it. So to you, what was the change when you came to the 305?
It was something I always wanted to do. I had told
Okay.
myself out of high school, I said, there's three things I want. I either I want to get a letter or be drafted by the Red Sox. I want to go to or get a letter from or I want to play baseball in Miami. That's all I wanted to do because I knew a lot of the good baseball players were in Miami. So if I got to find out what I am and what I'm capable of, I have to go play the best, even if I know nobody, even if nobody
Yo,
likes me. So I'm like, yo, give it a shot. Like, I would rather fail in Miami than succeed in Massachusetts. So I was like, go. I don't know anyone. We didn't have any money. I had a cell phone for the first month of college and then it got cut off. Like, I didn't have a cell phone for like 2 to 3 months in college. Good
bro,
luck
you
talking.
were one of the most humble persons ever. Like honestly,
Yeah,
like
thank you, man.
you just came about your business, you treated everybody nice, and you went home. And the next day you did it again. But
Yeah.
that's crazy that when you said something positive, right? And I'm sure you wrote it down, right? And you continue speaking into presence and it happened. You went to Miami and you went to play with the best and you
Hmm.
were up there with the best. That's a
Yeah.
crazy story, bro.
Yeah, man. I absolutely loved it. And just like you going to Virginia, complete culture shock.
Yeah.
Complete culture shock. Because to some people, I talk a little different, have a little bit kind of a different accent depending on some of the words I do say. And then when I would go down there, everyone was speaking Spanish. I'm like, all right, I got to start learning some Spanish, man, because I just want to be able to talk to the guys. I want to hang with the boys. You know what I mean? So it was so cool to have that. And it couldn't have been more welcoming. In such
Yeah.
a competitive area where everyone's fighting for every inning, every at bat, dude, everyone was so nice, man. You
Yeah.
know, it,
And man, we play with some good players, bro. We play some great players, you know.
yeah, some great players, some dogs, some leaders. Um, yeah, unbelievable coaches. It was just all there. It was one of the best experiences I had. Even more so than pro ball for certain years.
Wow.
Yeah, there was nothing like it. For me, Miami-Dade was pro ball, you know?
Mm.
And that's and
I feel
from
like Miami-Dade was like a family.
it was, dude.
You know,
It
it was
was.
like a family. Like even though you like most of us from Miami-Dade, we played against each other in high school, right? You came from where else, but you like this is our brother from another state. Like you
Mhm.
just fit in. Like we didn't even see past if he's from where. No, he's just one
Yeah.
of us,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
man. I was just brought in. That was it was unbelievable, man. Yeah. So, that's how it happened for me.
That's awesome,
So
bro.
after Dade, right? So you finish out at Dade. Did you immediately transfer to Freed-Hardeman? How did that
So
work?
how did that work? So crazy story, right? Now that you brought up Leo and all that. So at Freed-Hardeman, I don't know if you, yeah, you met Angel Nicholas,
I do
in the
know
past.
Angel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
you know Angel.
Mhm.
And my other buddy, Noslin Labrada, he also played against us. You know, they have gone to play at Freed-Hardeman before, right? So they were up there, you know, don't ask, I don't know how they got a scholarship up there, but they got in there, right? So as the season's finishing up, right? You know, Leo's in Miami-Dade, I'm in Miami-Dade, Johnny Montoya's in Miami-Dade, Michael Clayton is in Miami-Dade, Miami-Dade or Broward. So it was like around Hobby Gomez was in Miami-Dade, so it was like
Mhm.
around 10 of us. And they talked to the coaches, bro, and they're like, "Yeah, I could bring some really good players up here." And bro, we all got the scholarships together. You know, we signed together. We went up there together. And when we got there, since it was a Christian school, we come from Miami, bro. We didn't know that the dorms that we were gonna stay, the doors were locked after 10 p.m. And that's another story, you know. But it was a total culture shocker. But it was amazing to be able to play with our boys, which most of them we still have a chat together. My best friend Les, who's a left-handed pitcher out of University of Tampa, he played at Varela with me. He was also away. It was also able to go over there. My boy George Laurie, you know who he is too.
Yes.
You know, so we still have like it's called the college boys. We still have a group together that's been together for since we left college, and we still communicate. So it's so beautiful, bro. You know, to be able to see everybody grow, their families, their kids. But yeah, I'm grateful for Angel and I'm grateful for Nas, who the ones that they were able to open the doors for us, you know, to be able to go to Free Hardeman.
Dude, that is cool.
Yeah, bro.
Wow, having all those people too. It's like Dade
Yeah, it was
2.0.
fun, bro. It was. I mean, it was just like Miami-Dade. It was a great experience, you know. That and now I get to share with my kids. You know, I don't tell them the details, but you know, I tell them
Yeah.
the fun parts of baseball and all that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because there's grinds to it. You got to do school.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. And for us, when baseball is who you are and what you do, when you're so locked into baseball, for you and me, school became secondary
Yes.
in many ways. And I wish that it's easy to say now, and this is why you tell players how you do anything is how you do everything. Treat school how you treat baseball,
Yeah.
right? Treat your family and friends the way you treat strangers and always conduct yourself in that kind of way, man. I wish in the early days I would have tried harder.
Yeah.
I do.
I agree.
Yeah, and in my sophomore year, because I kind of smartened up and I had to get my grades a little bit better, I was able to earn a $10,000 a year academic scholarship when I was going to transfer to Barry University. So
Yep.
I kept my word, signed with Barry University, and had a full ride there for 2 years, but I ended up signing. So,
Yep. I
but
know.
yeah,
That's
man.
awesome, bro.
So,
Yeah, you made it happen.
so you redshirted?
So I redshirted a year, my second year at Miami-Dade, right?
Mm.
So a lot of things happened. I don't know if you remember at one point I went down with a little bit of elbow pain
Yep.
for several weeks. And I remember we were on a trip, right? And that's what I was telling you about attitude. Attitude, right? And some people get redshirted, I believe because they got hurt. And I believe that I like to call it, I got redshirted because of my immaturity, right? Something happened in a trip that we had in the room, nothing crazy. We slammed the door, whatever. Obviously, Coach Hurts, which is a Hall of Famer, is a guy that I still talk to, by the way. He still texts me, "Hey, Chuck." He sends me some package the other day about, bro, let me tell you, I'm going to finish the story, but I got to tell you this. And I was able to redshirt, and I lost my scholarship at Miami-Dade. I did lose my scholarship at Miami-Dade. I didn't want to go anywhere. I got
Mm-hmm.
offered from different colleges, but I saw the culture, I saw the coaches, I saw you were coming back, because it was for the second year. I saw, a lot of positive things, and I talked to Coach Hirsch and Frankie, and I'm grateful that they were able to give me an opportunity to work hard in the fall and re-earn my scholarship for the spring, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what I did, and I think God does things for a reason because that's maybe the semester that I needed off to be able to mature myself mentally, right? To be able to be prepared, right? To go
Mm-hmm.
on in that another journey, so and then obviously I was able to rest up my arm, I got stronger, so it was able to work out, the best.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Because the talent was always there, but we all have different things that we go through too. And the beauty of it, the one of the things that I admire most about you is that you're open and you share it. Because like we all know, we run into so many people in our baseball travels that will blame everyone else in the world for it. And it's like, but you'll never get anywhere with that. Like I've
Yeah.
had my issues with attitude on a baseball field as well. That typically happens when you're extremely passionate and kind of can't balance out the emotions of it. I've had that too, and I've had to work on it. So hearing like your story and seeing and playing with you, it's like I could always relate to you in many ways too, because we were both good baseball players and had to work on some stuff with ourselves.
Yeah,
And
absolutely, bro.
yeah, and I shared that when I was coaching probably 10 years ago or so. I would share that with some of the players too. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are. You're going to get to a level where everyone is good. That's how you know you're good, when everyone you're playing against is
Yeah.
good. Right? When you go to Miami-Dade and you go play Broward, you're not playing anyone bad. At
Nope.
any given time, every person on that roster could be drafted because
Bro, you were
everyone
you
is good.
were you were facing Matt Latos.
Yeah.
Matt Latos had made it to the big leagues. He was a monster. We were facing that guy.
Yeah.
Like the talent
We've
that we were facing.
Brad Peacock.
Yeah,
We faced
another one.
Brad
There you go.
Peacock from Palm Beach. He throws 100 miles an hour. Guy throws 100, So
Oh man,
like
good times.
those were the guys we faced, and I would like to think that they would say the same thing about us. Because
Yeah, those guys were tough.
because we did win.
Yeah, a lot.
We won a lot of games. So,
Oh man,
oh
that
man.
was fun.
Yeah, so after college, after that all wraps up, like what was next for you? You said you didn't get in. Did you get into baseball? Did you not get into baseball right away or?
No, so obviously after I was doing with Freed-Hardeman, I went to several tryouts, a couple minor leaguers, and then I went to in indie ball, in the independent ball, I went to a couple tryouts. But at the time, I was already kind of burned out, to be honest with
Mm,
you. I got back home to Miami after I left Tennessee. And obviously, back then, my dream was always to become a cop. Financially, at the time, I couldn't do it, right? So I started working just retail jobs here and there. But I really didn't want nothing to do with baseball. Back then, I got jobs. I got an offer to be able to coach my old high school. I said, no, I don't want nothing to do with any baseball. To be honest with you, I didn't even want to watch baseball. I will go to the
Mm,
Marlins game just to go have a drink or have fun, not really to watch the game, right?
yeah.
And I didn't really get back into the game until my son Liam started playing t-ball, right? And here's the funny part. Yes, as soon as I was done with college ball, I started training, a couple of guys in my high school that they were going pro, and one of them is Johnny Barbado. He made it to the big leagues with the Yankees. Out of high
Yeah.
school, he had a full ride to UF, but he ended up signing a nice bonus. Um, but I didn't want nothing to do after that, right? So I always coach older kids or, high school kids. Well, bro, let me tell you, when I got in youth baseball, I didn't tell people that I play baseball. And here's the thing, right? Baseball is a simple sport, right? And dealing with kids, my wife was a preschool teacher, right? So I've learned a lot from my wife, which is I'm grateful for, and I bring that into the field now.
Hmm.
Is that at the youth sport, 5, 6, right? You can't be screaming at kids to go throw a ball. I realized, and then I started watching how good coaches will talk to the kids, right? So I was standing behind. My first season was like that, CC. I was just watching the way that coaches treated the kids, right? Because I come from like rough, hey, now let's go,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I didn't want the kids to have a bad experience, but I also wanted it to make it competitive for them. So my first season in Tebow, I was just watching, that tell, show, try, do, right? They
Hmm.
tell me I'm gonna try, I'm gonna watch it. And my second season, I started getting a little more involved. And as I'm getting involved with baseball, all these memories and all these lessons that used to take at 14, 15, high school, college started coming back and coming back. And it was just this whole wave, bro, to be honest with you, that just came back with baseball that I was like, man, you know what? I do have another purpose in life, and it's to be able to give back to the youth. Um, a lot of baseball knowledge that I've been able to learn throughout the years. But more than the knowledge, I want to be able to prepare them mentally, right?
Mm.
Prepare them mentally enough and let them know that this sport is a sport of failure. That in order to be successful, right, you gotta go through the outs, you gotta go through the strikeouts, right? And at first, my son will cry when he strikes out, right? And it's common, right? But little by little, the kids started understanding that you're not gonna get on base every time, right?
Yeah.
And to me, that was the biggest, lesson that I learned from the coaches here in Orlando. It's called South Orlando Bay Ruth. So I'm with the Bay Ruth League, and then from there, bro, I started, getting more involved in rec, getting more involved in rec. My son started getting a little more serious. And when he turned around 8 years old, an opportunity came where SQC is a big, big organization, right? You're gonna like this here in Florida. That is it started in Fort Myers, right?
Mm.
And they have teams from 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way to high school. And what I love about the high school CC is they're bringing colleges to SQC practices, to SQC showcases for them to
Oh.
get exposed. So whenever you get a chance, go check SQC baseball, and you're gonna see the amount of kids that they're going to a JUCO, D3, D1, D2, and it's so cool what they're helping, the so they gave me an opportunity to create with another buddy of mine, Eric, Coach Gibson, and to be able to create an AU. I don't like to call it travel because to me we are more of developmental program,
Hmm.
right? I'm at this age. I'm not here to make a shortstop. No, I'm here to make infielders, right? I'm
Yeah.
not here to make a center fielder. I'm here to make outfielders, to
Mm.
make people learn how to play the game and as soon as this started, my whole baseball, was like, okay, these kids are ready. We started doing a lot of drills, and that's whenever the idea of the pitching came. I was like, okay, my son is gonna get involved in the next year and a half into pitching. that's my forte. That's my baby. I treat that very arm care and mechanics is my biggest thing, and parents just started calling me. I made one post in a Facebook page that's here. I put a picture of Miami-Dade, me throwing. That's one of my favorite pictures. And I was like, oh, pitching coach in the area, looking to help kids. And bro, the messages wouldn't stop, CC. Like it was because we do have a lot of hitting coaches, but when it comes to pitching, I feel like not many coaches are taking the time to teach that, especially at the youth.
Hmm.
I don't know if you have that back there when you were coaching, if you saw that, but I saw that a lot. And this past summer, I overseed around 25 kids privately, from age 8 to 9 all the way to 17, 18, and even some pro guys that I get to work with. I know you saw my buddy made it to the 40-man roster with the Yankees. Curran, he already had made it to the big leagues, by the way, with San Francisco and the Cubs, but he was coming back from his second Tommy John. But
Mm.
I'm not going to take credit from his arm or anything, but I will take credit that I was able to help him lose 30 to 40 pounds before going into spring training this past season, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I mean, he had an incredible season, 5-1 with a less 2 point ERA in AAA. But again, good nutrition, right? With this sport, a lot of good things happen. And you know that.
Yeah. Dude, that is awesome, man. And now you're a massive Yankees fan.
I'm a Marlins and Boston Red Sox fan. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I remember finding that out that you were a Red Sox fan. I was like, yeah, that's cool, man, because
and I,
obviously
and I
I
gotta
was.
rip my Marlins, bro.
You
I'm a
have to.
Marlins, I'm a Marlins.
You have to. Well, it's funny when I went to Miami, I've always been a Boston fan, but I became a Marlins fan as well because it
Okay.
was a big part of it. And when we were there, Hanley Ramirez was there. And I remember one game I went there, I was like, "Yo, Boston." And he's like, "No," cuz they originally picked him and then
Yeah,
traded him, and then he ended up going back to
you
Boston.
gotta going back to Boston.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, "Welcome home."
But yeah, I mean, my son reignited the fire of baseball, which I'm grateful because I'm not only giving back to my son, but I'm giving back to so many kids, bro. And at the end of the
Yeah.
day, to me, that's just the biggest blessing. That at least one day they're gonna remember one thing that could help them and be like, man, that bald head coach, that was so anal about the mechanics and this, it helped me pitch a complete game, for example,
Mhm.
and that's to me, it's gonna be, the biggest blessing.
Dude, being a coach is the best thing. It really is, man. I think for me, coaching was the best transition out of baseball because, just like you had to kind of get away from that yelling and I'm gonna scream at this 6-year old to make sure he catches the ball, and then you realize it's bigger than that. It's
Yes.
bigger than this. How do I make him fall in love with the game that I loved? How do I make him fall in love with the game that may have saved my life and kept me out of trouble? That's how I started looking at it, a year or two after I started coaching because it just meant so much to me,
Yeah.
you know. And for you, with like everything you have going on, your network marketing, your coaching, you're a father, husband, like how do you balance everything out?
Oh
It's a
man.
lot.
I give all the props to my wife, honestly. If it wasn't for her, I mean, this household of five, wouldn't happen. But again, it's just finding a balance. I try to schedule. I try to be present as much as I can for Liam and Levi. And now Levi, I asked him, Levi, you want to play in the spring? He goes, Daddy, of course. You know,
Yeah.
and he loves it. He's not like my oldest, right? My oldest actually likes to take extra reps. Levi only likes to go to practice, you know. But when it came to like balancing, I just try to set schedule. I do network marketing, right? So I found network marketing over 12 years ago. I was a customer, right? Network marketing. I'm with Herbalife Nutrition, right? So I was able to lose 30 pounds on the products due to my product results. People started asking me, and it created an amazing business that I've been able to do it for the last 12 years and I get to do it from home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the flexibility because of the business, right? And obviously my other business, which is my pitching lessons, my baseball business, not the coaching of my team, but the private that I have. I try to send my clients, my kids, and everything that I have around my family. My family comes first, right? So,
Yes.
for example, I try to set up where my SQC team is practicing Mondays and Wednesdays, so I could be present for Liam, and then my red team, right? I practice Tuesdays and Thursdays for Levi because I think they both deserve the same amount of time and it's
Mm-hmm.
not easy like it just sounds crazy, right? So this Saturday, my son Liam has a game at 11 and has a game at 2. Levi has a game at 1, right? So I'm gonna go coach the first game. I'm gonna leave Liam playing because the team needs him, and I'm gonna go be with Levi because we already got 5 coaches here who could take care of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got 2 more games on Sunday. So we try to be present, bro, as much as we can. Do we miss some things? Of course, it's not
Mm-hmm.
perfect, but I don't really like to use the word try,
Yeah.
right? I took that word out of my vocabulary a long time ago. I do my best,
Yes.
right? Because you don't try to pick up the cup. No, you pick up the cup, right? So I do
Mm-hmm.
my best with my wife to be present as much as I can. I have missed some practices because of a business meeting, because of my part-time job, and the boys understand that,
Yeah.
right? That daddy and mom are doing the best possibly can to be present, but there's going to be time that grandma's going to be there. There's going to be time that tia's going to be there, right?
Yeah.
And thankfully, our boys have been able to understand that, to be honest with you. So,
That's a good thing,
ah,
man, because there's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make as a parent that sometimes children don't see, they won't understand, but there's a lot of responsibilities that fall on the shoulders of parents because you want
yes.
to be there for everything. You don't want to miss any moment. And it's just can't really work that way, in reality, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
yeah. And for you, because you also we do transformations and you're helping coaches. How does that work, and are you applying that to the coaches that you're around?
So, my network marketing business, right, with Herbalife Nutrition, right, we as coaches, we do 2 things, right?
Mhm,
We recommend a product, right, that people might need help with, right? So we focus on better their health, get more energy, lose some weight, or even have a healthy breakfast, right? Because a lot of people have the mindset that Herbalife is just for weight loss, right? Obviously, I'm not overweight. I don't need to lose weight. So I use the nutrition for nutritional facts for me. I'm not a
mhm,
breakfast guy, so I rather have a meal replacement shake, right? So what I like to apply with my coaches and with my kids, it's the personal development that I've been able to learn from the business, right? Because
mhm.
in order, I'm in a business of people, so we deal with a lot of different personalities, right? Baseball, you deal with a lot of different personalities too, from the parents and the kids, right? I think sometimes the parents
Yes.
are more than the kids.
Yes,
But I
100%.
get to, apply, a lot of things that I've been able to learn. Now we do transformation at the platform that one of our leaders created, right? We do a lot of weight loss challenges every single month where we're giving out, $10,000 to the top 10 transformations. Each person gets $1,000, and that is just simply to motivate people, right?
Mhm.
To go after a goal, right? I'm a
That's
big believer
awesome.
that if you don't have a target, it's hard for you to shoot at, right? So you have to have a vision, you have to have a target where you want to where you want to focus on. So to me, the biggest blessing in this business that I have with my wife, it's not the money that we get to make, but it's the thank yous that we get from our customers when they look
Yeah.
themselves in the mirror and be like, wow, I haven't worn these jeans in over 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow, my husband, my wife sees me different, right? Because I have more energy, I got more time with the kids. So the thank yous that I get from helping people and changing their lifestyle has been the biggest blessing in the last 12 years, bro.
Dude, it's incredibly important for people to understand that. Because when I was younger and I was small and skinny, metabolism in being skinny is not the same as being healthy.
Yeah.
So, for me, I was in college at 130, 140 pounds, and I could eat McDonald's and candy bars, and I'm like, "I'm healthy," and it's like, I wasn't healthy, I just had a great metabolism, I ran a lot, I played
Yep.
outfield, but at that time, aside from Miami-Dade and everything like that, no one was talking to you about eating. Hey, this is good for your weight. Based on what you're burning per day, doing all these sprints and running and being out in the heat, you have to replenish this to put it back into your body if you're trying to demand 100 or 110% from yourself. It's amazing that you're teaching that to young people and to the adults that want to learn this now because it's not always out there, man. It is
Yeah.
very easy to just stop at a McDonald's or a KFC on the way home, and you're like, "I would rather do that than follow through and stay consistent." So people do need a coach, someone that's gonna hold them accountable. It's
Yeah.
amazing that you do that.
And let's get this straight. I mean, you people must think if you're watching this, right? Oh, this guy doesn't eat McDonald's, or this guy doesn't eat pizza, right? Because every Friday night is pizza night at my house. You know, it's a
Mhm.
tradition that we have. But it's just being smart about the choices that you get to make, right? It's like anything in excess is bad, right? So I like to tell my clients if if you were good, right, that week or those 2 weeks that we were able to say you plan for, it's that then go give yourself a treat meal where you're gonna go enjoy whatever it is that you have been craving for the last 2 weeks, right? But again, it's the thank yous, bro, that we get from our customers. I keep smiling because I this morning I got 3 customers who's like, Carlos, Lucy, thank you for not giving up on me because
Yeah.
I don't just sell you the products, right? I tell my clients the moment you open that or open the email with the PDF, Carlos and Lucy comes out. Hey, because that's me. I'm gonna be calling you. I'm gonna be FaceTiming you. I'm gonna be sending you voice notes, right? Because you don't get that type of service out there,
Yeah.
right? And I believe that one-on-one coaching it's very important, right? In the sports and also in health, right? I wish I would have known what I know today when it comes to nutrition, supplements, food, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But again, that's why they have people like myself and my wife who are just we're the messengers, right? We're not
Yeah.
the message. We're just delivering the message and every person chooses what to do with that information.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. And it's cool too because your kids will be able to benefit from that as well and still have Friday night pizza in watching their mom and dad live it out as well. It creates those good habits that sometimes people don't grow up in the best eating habit families. So it's just not even a part of them growing up. It's not a part of their own culture.
Yeah,
That's
that was
why I
me.
can
I mean,
it
I
it
grew up
was
in that environment.
it was me too. At that time, if you put the food on the table that you can, and most of the time it's good, but as far as sitting down and learning about eating habits and in certain intakes and what you shouldn't have and should have, wasn't always there. From coaches and strength and conditioning, we just didn't have it much where I
Bro,
was.
and me coming from Colombia to America and seeing MC, McDonald's or
Yeah.
Burger King. It's like, wow, And I remember
Yeah,
now,
man.
I mean, beautiful date nights that I have with my parents at Burger King, right? I still have those memories because it's something that you take.
Mhm.
But I wish we wouldn't have done it as so often that we did.
Oh, man. No, that's good. That's good that you're doing that. And like I said, you get
Thank
to
you.
work with the kids. Are you coaching both their teams, Liam and Levi, or?
I'm not the head coach, right? Each team has their own head coach, but I am like the assistant head coach, pretty much. Yeah, I mean Levi's team, the rec team, it's a more light team. You know, we got 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. Liam's team is a little more competitive, right? Because the
Mhm.
kids are a little bit older, a little bit more mature. You know, but yeah, I am pretty much coaching both teams. Yeah.
Do either one of them pitch?
Liam did last year. I brought up Liam to 9U. He was playing 9U and he had experience, you know, pitching. He did pretty good, you know. He got out of the inning. But obviously he's still a lot younger, you know, but I love
Mhm.
to work with him, you know. Every time I set up like a little batting cage in my garage, a little retractable one that my wife got me for Father's Day. And it was an idea that she came up with this past
Nice.
year. But after we hit, you know, we do around 25 to 30, just simply left your leg, power position, and just drive through it because I want him to have that muscle memory when he
Mhm.
starts pitching next fall, the team will be moving up to 9U. You know, so, but yeah, I mean, Liam has experienced it. He knows because I speak with him since he knows I'm a pitching coach about how important
Mhm.
is the arm care, you know, how important is even at this age, stretching, you know, making sure you're getting loose little by little, because you want to protect that arm. That arm could take you to a lot of places, you know.
Yeah, and it's good that you're teaching them all that stuff early on too, that it's not just about baseball and throwing hard. It's take care of your body. Be
Yeah,
smart with how you're doing things, because that's gonna go with him throughout life, not just
yes,
baseball. That's
yeah.
gonna be one of the important things. And I wanted to ask you too, because this happened to, 2 of my friends recently. But you actually had a post on Facebook that was kind of one of those full circle moments where you had played your friend Manny over like 20 years ago in high school, and now both of your sons faced each other. And I saw that you had posted the picture on that, and I was like, dude, that's beautiful as we get into that age of where our kids are playing our friends' kids or people that we played kids. What was that moment like for you?
Bro, boy, what an experience to be honest with you. So, Manny, obviously, he lived in Miami, and now he lives in Ocala, Florida, right? So he's the head coach of a team, right, that we were playing. And as we're getting warmed up, my head coach and him were changing lineups, and he tells me that as he's reading the lineup, he sees Pertuz, and my last name is not common. You know, it's very rare that you see my last name. And as I'm warming up the kids, I hear, "Yo, Carlos." And I'm like, "Huh?" So I turn around and he goes, "Yo, you don't remember me?" And I looked at him and I'm like, "Wait, yo, Manny?" And he goes, "Bro, Manny Arias from Coral Reef." And I'm like, "No way." And bro, he gave me a hug, man. We took pictures together. His son came. I met his son. He met my son, and we were just talking stories. How I remember I had an incredible game against his high school, you know, and they had a top left-handed pitcher that went to the Canes, you know.
Mhm.
But just we just started bringing all those memories from high school, bro, and now our sons get to face each other. That's beautiful.
Dude, that is awesome. That's one of the friendly reminders that baseball will give you even after you're done playing.
Yes.
Those random moments that pop up and you're like, that's how much of a part of my life it was. And then for you, now you have your kids playing.
Yeah. Oh, want to know another story because I know you know the catcher. Now that you brought me up, Karim. You remember Karim Tulkamani?
Karim
Of course.
Tukumani. Yes.
An incredible catching coach right now. Love what he's doing up in Maryland. I believe he is in. He has
Mm-hmm.
an academy of catchers, bro. He's building catchers, and I love it. So I
Dude.
SQZ, right? Like I told you, it's big. We're having a tournament, and a kid from Puerto Rico is flying here that he used to play from for SQC, you know, and like, oh, you know, I'm gonna be there in town. We needed a guest player that weekend. So he brought him. I started talking to the dad, this big Puerto Rican swole guy. He's telling me that he played pro ball for the Blue Jays, right? And I told him, he asked me, "Oh, where you play?" I go, "I played at Miami-Dade." And he goes, "Wait, did you play with a catcher called Karim?" And I'm like, "Bro, get out of here." He goes, "That was my roommate in pro ball." And I FaceTimed
Wow.
Karim on the spot, and they just started talking. They haven't even seen me talk to each other in years. And because of the connection that I was able to make, bro, it was so beautiful. I saw the story because of baseball.
Dude, it's crazy when you start seeing some of that stuff, whether it's, you know, you just watch the people who are training and doing their thing. Like I get to see you doing it, CJ does it, Kareem's doing it, um, Caceres is doing it.
Well,
There's
Nini is doing it as a head coach. I
yeah,
love what that place that CJ built. It is beautiful, bro.
yeah, man. It's
But yeah, man.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing to watch the talent and the character that you guys have. Just because I know all of you guys. So like to see your character translate, I'm very proud of it because I'm like the good work that you can pass on not only from your life lessons but also your skills, also your the way you communicate with people. Like you're in the people business.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't
Thank you,
want
bro.
you to teach their kid? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like good baseball player, great experience, good with people. Like it's all right there for everyone, man.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
And let me ask you this because you've talked about your kids. Um, what's a message that you would leave for your kids that maybe you tell them every day, maybe you don't get to tell them every day, but something you would want them to know?
And it's something that we live by in our house, it's always do your best and
Mm,
always treat people nice.
yeah.
I always tell them, always do your best and treat people nice because you never know who you're going to run into. You never
Yes.
know who you're going to meet that could impact your life or you could impact their life. It might not be now, but it might be 5, 10 years from now.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's perfect, man. That's what you when you just reflect on that and it's like how you treat people is how you're going to be treated yourself in many ways. And just I wish I had done it a little bit earlier on too.
Yeah. Oh,
You
no,
know,
me too. Oh, trust me, me too.
yeah, and that's why it's good to talk to you because we were very similar in our personalities where tough, hard nose, then you start to learn, then you really learn, then you pour it back into the community.
Yeah, and listen how I said it, like treat people nice, right? Because
Mhm.
we cannot expect somebody to do it in return. You get what I'm saying? But
Yes.
knowing that you did the right thing, because it has happened to me, I walk away with a happy smile on my face because I know I did the right thing, right?
Yes.
Because I know we live in a world, something might be happening with that person, right? And we might not get the response we're waiting for. So don't take it personal,
Mhm.
because it has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with that person. But you did your job just by treating that person with kind and nice.
Dude, and now they might move on to the next person in a better mind state.
Yes.
So, you could have impacted that, which is such an amazing thing to do. And you had talked about Lucy, and what's a message that you would leave for her? Something that you want her to know, something that you maybe tell her every day?
A message for Lucy. Something that has always been in my heart is never change who you are. I am
Mhm.
blessed that thanks to Herbalife Nutrition, when I started the business, I was able to meet Lucy. Because if it wasn't for me starting this in Miami, a friend of a friend would have never brought Lucy, and that's how I met her through a friend of a friend at
Wow.
an Herbalife event. And thankfully today, I have a beautiful family because of her. She's an amazing mother. She's an amazing wife. She's an amazing business owner, and she's the rock and the foundation of this business. If it wasn't for her, Pertuz family wouldn't be here, to be honest with you.
That's beautiful. Yeah, man.
Thank you.
That is awesome. And What's one thing that you wish that you know now that maybe you wish you knew growing up?
Personal development. I brought that up a few times today.
Mhm.
I wish I would have known this at a very young age. Because especially I come from a background that I didn't grow up with parents, right? And a lot of times, I didn't see my parents for like 5, 6 years. So a lot of times we tend to blame, things that happen to us. But I believe if I would have had known personal development, develop myself as a person, I wouldn't have seen it as a blame. I would have seen it as a life lesson,
Mm.
and thanks to personal growth, right? I don't judge people anymore. I got rid of that many years ago. But when I was younger, because of my upcoming and everything that I went through when I was in Colombia, United States, no personal development. I was just straight raw, kind of, so I feel like you and I can relate a lot.
Yep.
I just feel
Yeah.
like if I would have had the mindset that I had today and the personal growth when I was younger, and I'm grateful that I have it now because I now get to share with my future generation, my kids and all of that, right? But that is one thing that I wish I would have back then that maybe was introduced to me, but
Mhm.
maybe I didn't see it. Maybe I wasn't ready, right, for it. That's the way that I also see things. That I don't change nothing from the back, for that happened in the back, in the past, right? But sometimes just what if, right?
Yes.
But then that what if could have changed the course of the life that I have today.
That's always
Right?
the tough part, man. Everyone can say, "I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have known that," but to not know the impact. And it's always tough asking that to someone who in this moment is happy. Because if you say something, it sounds like you're not happy,
Yeah.
right? Like, well, if I did this, I would have been here. But I think that you had worded it perfectly because it doesn't seem like maybe it would have changed your path, right? Because I see you, you're such a positive and loving person, and you pour so much out into the people that you speak with and talk to that I think that this was your path. But maybe it wouldn't have been so tough, just like for me. Maybe you wouldn't have fought so many times and had kind of put up a fight against yourself, because that's essentially what you're doing at the end of the day. It's you versus you,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
let's be realistic. The battle never stops.
Mhm.
I'm a big believer that um mental health is a big issue, obviously in men, a lot of
Yeah.
us don't wanna, and it's okay to ask for help and it's okay to seek for help,
Mhm.
whenever you feel down, right? That's why I actually love what you're doing because, it's a conversation, but it's also a little bit of venting, you know,
Yes.
that you get to share, that we share with each other.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's good to be able to open up. It's good to be able to talk about things. And honestly, that's one reason why I started incorporating asking certain people. I try to do it with everyone, but to ask them what's a message that they want to leave for their kids, because sometimes you don't stop to think about that.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about it in the sense of like, what if your kids watch this in 20 years? That's
Wow.
another thing. What if this is recorded and it's documented that at any point in time, whether you or me are here or not here, our children can come watch this. That's something that will sustain forever.
I didn't think about
So
that. That's powerful.
that
Wow.
so when I sat and started reflecting, I was like, there's got to be something bigger. There's got to be something that when I sit down with these people who I love, who I'm interested in, who I'm asking them to be vulnerable and to share their journey that maybe they haven't shared with everyone, that someday maybe their children are going to watch this. So I wanted to make it something that our family could be proud of,
Wow. Well,
you
thank
know?
you for making me part of this, honestly.
Yeah, man, I love it, dude. I love talking to you and spending time and watching your journey and watching all the good things that you're doing. For people that want to watch you, follow you more, SQZ, businesses, someone who wants to reach out and be a little bit healthier, where can people find you on social media, on business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I only have two platforms. I try to keep it basic and simple. I'm sure you're gonna tag me when we post this.
Absolutely.
Carlos Pertuz, Instagram and Facebook is Pertuz Family. My last name.
Mhm,
And you're gonna see me. You're gonna see my life every single day. I just love to share because I believe that one message could change people's life. One smile could change people's day. You know,
mhm.
yeah, I mean, if you just give me a follow, and see the amazing things that we're doing, in our baseball community, in our baseball youth. I am coming with another Instagram page that's going to be PPP, Produce Pitching Performance, working on a logo and all that. So that's coming soon. Just create content, educational content that could help the parents and that could help the kids.
That's amazing, dude. You definitely should. I'm excited, man. Selfishly, when I saw you get back into it and saw you coaching, I'm like, "Yes, that is what we need, man." Because you
I
br
missed it. I missed it.
Yeah, man. I mean, you have so much skills, so much of a background, you're so personable, um, and you've just always been an amazing competitor, and you are a great teammate for me. So, I can't
Thank
thank
you,
you
bro.
enough for being on tonight, being a part of my life, man. I love you, and I'm glad we got to sit down and talk, dude.
Nah, I appreciate. Thank you for the invitation once again, brother. Honestly, it's an honor. It's an honor to be here. I've been looking forward to this. I said it one day, CC and he's gonna invite me to do this. And just I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that we still have this friendship, bro,
Mhm.
after almost 20 years. And it feel like we're still playing ball. Like I feel like just hey CC, you wanna go
I
catch? I know we live in
I
different states, you know. But other than that, bro, I'm grateful. Continue what you're doing. I love you as well, and I can't wait. Hopefully one day, you could come to Disney World, to the family, come stay at my crib, bro. Honestly, I'm only 20
Yeah.
minutes away from Disney, and mi casa es tu casa. So,
Perfect, man. I love it, dude. We're gonna keep in touch, and I can't wait to hear, more about PPP.
yes,
That's gonna
sir.
be
Appreciate
awesome,
it,
dude.
brother.
That's
I'm
gonna be
excited.
awesome. Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
bro.
Hey, thank you for being on tonight, man, and we'll be talking soon.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night. God
You
bless.
too, brother.